It's been a whirlwind week for the Baltimore Ravens, but let's rewind a little. We never really sat down to unpack what went down in that matchup against the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, that one. The one where the Ravens got dropped, again, by Patrick Mahomes and company, 37-20. It's painful, but it's necessary. So let's talk about it, because this wasn't just a bad loss. This was a wake-up call, a full-on alarm screaming that something is seriously off in Baltimore. The game started out like a dream. That opening drive? Flawless. Smooth run game. Quick passes, everything was clicking. You saw Lamar operating confidently, the offensive line holding up, Derrick Henry getting early touches. It felt like, for a second, that this might finally be that game. The one where Baltimore doesn't fold against Kansas City. The one where the mental block is gone. But that dream evaporated faster than anyone expected. Because after that drive, the Ravens disappeared. And that's the story of this offense. Every time something works, every time a play or concept gets results, they abandon it. They move away from it like it's radioactive. Against the Chiefs, it was obvious. You had a successful ground game early, but then suddenly it vanished from the game plan. You had Lamar looking settled. Then suddenly he's dropping back in shotgun on 3rd and 1 inside the red zone, with no Derrick Henry in sight. That moment alone told you everything about where this team is mentally. You're in scoring position. You've got one of the most punishing runners in football on your roster. And instead of leaning into that, you put Lamar in shotgun, take Henry off the field, and blow a golden opportunity. That's not just bad play calling. That's a mindset problem. John Harbaugh tried to distance himself from it in the presser. He basically said, "Hey, we had a game plan, but Todd Monken didn't stick to it." Okay, even if that's true, you're the head coach. If your offensive coordinator goes rogue mid-game, you rein him back in. You get on the headset and fix it. So what's the excuse there? It's stuff like this that makes you wonder if the leadership is really aligned at all. And speaking of Todd Monken, let's be real. Monken has brought a lot of improvement to this offense since coming in. The passing concepts are sharper, Lamar's development as a passer is obvious, and for the first time in a long time, Baltimore is actually developing wide receivers, not just cycling through veterans off the street. But Monken's situational play calling is a serious issue. When it matters most, when the pressure is high, he seems to freeze. 3rd and short, red zone moments, critical drives. Too often, the calls just don't make sense. The creativity disappears, and you get these weird, overly complex looks that set the offense back instead of putting them in position to succeed. Let's not absolve the players either. Lamar Jackson did not have a good game. That interception he threw, with pressure in his face, was a classic example of tunnel vision. He locked onto Mark Andrews and missed Isaiah, likely wide open to the left. That throw was off, underthrown, and gift-wrapped for the Chiefs linebacker. And then there was the fumble. Watching it live, you thought, here we go again. But then the replay shows it wasn't even the Chiefs that forced the fumble. It was Tyler Linderbaum, his own lineman, colliding into him and knocking the ball out. Just brutal. Another case of the Ravens literally beating themselves before the defense even has to do anything. And that's the theme that keeps coming back. Baltimore isn't just losing games, they're self-destructing. They're putting themselves in terrible positions before the snap. They're taking key playmakers off the field at the worst times. They're calling baffling formations on short yardage downs. It's almost like there's a commitment to overthinking everything. You've got Derrick Henry picking up solid yardage early. 8, 9 yards a pop, and you only hand it to him 8 times total? That's not a game flow issue. That's coaching malpractice. You don't bring in a bruiser like Henry to have him sit on the sideline during 3rd and short, especially not when the other team is daring you to run it. Lamar's fumble was a killer, but what followed wasn't any better. On a crucial 4th and 2, under pressure again, he ended up throwing the ball away. Just chucked it out of bounds. On 4th down. And then later, Cooper Rush, after Lamar left with a hamstring injury, did the exact same thing. It was like watching a team that had completely lost its edge, its belief, and maybe even its identity. Yes, injuries are part of it. They always are. But this wasn't about health. This was about preparation, about discipline, about the same mistakes repeating themselves every single week. The delay of game penalties, 2 on the same drive, and an intentional grounding call right after? That sequence right there sums it up. It's not about talent. It's not about injuries. It's about focus. And right now, this Ravens team doesn't have any. And if you're a Ravens fan, you've seen this before. That mental wall they hit against Kansas City, it's real. The second the Chiefs show up on the schedule, it's like Baltimore forgets how to be Baltimore. The play calling gets timid. The execution crumbles. The composure evaporates. And what's most frustrating is that these games aren't always blowouts. A lot of them are winnable. A lot of them come down to just a handful of plays. But this one was different. This one was a beatdown. And not just on the scoreboard, in every way. Even with the offense falling apart, there were still moments. Justice Hill ripped off that 71-yard touchdown, a rare flash of explosiveness. Zay Flowers made an absolutely ridiculous catch, probably the best of his young career so far. There were flashes, but you can't win games on flashes. You can't survive with a highlight reel and nothing to back it up. And maybe that's what's most alarming, the lack of identity. You look at this team and you ask yourself, what do they do well? Running the ball? Only when they feel like it. Passing the ball? Depends on the day. Play action? Sometimes. Defense? We'll get to that, but it's not good. Special teams? Sure, but who cares when you're down by 3 scores? The truth is, Baltimore looks like a team that doesn't know what it wants to be. You can have all the talent in the world, and this team does have talent, but if you don't have an identity, you don't have a shot. And when you keep making the same mistakes over and over again, poor play calling, bad clock management, wasted drives, mental errors, then you're not unlucky. You're just undisciplined. So yeah, 37-20 might not be the ugliest final score you'll ever see, but make no mistake, this was one of the ugliest games Baltimore has played in a long time. And until they figure out who they are, until they stop sabotaging themselves before the ball is even snapped, it's going to keep looking like this. Let's talk about the defense now, because if the offense was frustrating, the defense was just flat out embarrassing. And what's crazy is, this was supposed to be one of the more reliable units. Even with the inconsistency, even with the holes in the pass rush, there was always this belief that the Ravens' defense could bend but not break. Well, against Kansas City, it shattered. This wasn't just a poor performance, it was a complete collapse. Patrick Mahomes looked like he was back in MVP form, throwing darts all over the field with zero fear. And why should he be afraid? Baltimore didn't lay a finger on him. Mahomes went 25 of 37 for 270 yards and 4 touchdowns. That's not a stat line you hang on a struggling quarterback. That's a clinic. 1 sack. 1. And no real pressure all game long. And yeah, maybe someone will bring up some pressure numbers or charted stats. But if you watch the game with your own eyes, you saw a quarterback chilling in the pocket with time to scan the whole field. 4-man rush. Didn't work. 5-man. Nothing. Sent 6. Still no heat. They even sent 7 once. Still nothing. It didn't matter what they tried. The Chiefs' offensive line was ready, and the Ravens' front 7 looked like they were rushing through quicksand. It's not just that Mahomes had time, it's what he did with it. He picked apart the secondary like he was in practice. Short game, RPOs, passes to the flats, deep outs, screen plays, it was all there. And Baltimore had no answers. It was baffling to watch because it didn't even seem like they were trying to adjust. Zach Orr, the defensive coordinator, looked lost. He kept dropping edge rushers into coverage. Adaf Owa, Malacam, even Mike Green. What are we doing? This isn't some exotic scheme that confuses quarterbacks. This was just poor decision-making. It looked like experimentation in the middle of a game that was slipping away, and it only made things worse. John Harbaugh, of course, backed Zach Orr in his press conference. He said the defense was close. Close to what? Giving up 50? This unit gave up 37 points. And it could have been a lot more if the Chiefs hadn't missed a field goal late. Kansas City had their foot on the gas all game, and you could tell they had zero respect for Baltimore's defense. And honestly, why should they? There was no pass rush, no discipline, and no identity. It didn't even feel like the players believed in what they were doing. The injuries piled up, too. Roquan Smith left the game. Marlon Humphrey left the game. Nate Wiggins also went down late. All that hurts, no doubt. But the problems were already there before those guys got hurt. The tackling was awful. The edge containment was non-existent. The middle of the field was wide open all day long. And once again, running backs were leaking out into the flat, completely uncovered. Over and over again. Just easy completions for Mahomes, sometimes with 10 or 15 yards of open space in front of them. That's not on injuries. That's on coaching, game planning, and preparation. And the part that stings the most. Travis Kelce didn't even beat you. He had a quiet day by his standards. 5 catches for under 50 yards. It was everybody else who did the damage. Xavier Worthy had a career day. Hollywood Brown got his revenge with a touchdown. Juju Smith-Schuster, who's been almost invisible all season, scored. Even Taquan Thornton found the end zone. And the Ravens had no answers. No ability to stop the bleeding. No one stepping up to make a big play. The truth is, this defense looks like it's just going through the motions. No fire, no swagger, no leadership on the field. And it makes you question what's going on behind the scenes. Is there trust in the scheme? Are the players buying into what Zach or is selling? Because if they are, then that's even more concerning. You can't keep running the same coverages, getting the same results, and not expect change. It's insanity. And if this continues, it's going to cost people their jobs. It has to. Because this kind of defensive effort, especially for a franchise that has built its identity around defense for decades, is just unacceptable. Now, the special teams. Look, Tyler Lue did his thing. 2 for 2 on field goals, knocked in both extra points. He showed up, but it didn't matter. Why? Because the Chiefs punter didn't touch the field. Literally. He had nothing to do. That tells you everything you need to know about how the game went. Kansas City scored on nearly every drive. And when they didn't, it was because they missed a field goal, not because the defense stopped them. So it really makes you wonder what the Ravens even game planned for. If anything, Leonte Wester, the Ravens' return man, probably could have stayed in sweats. He didn't have a chance to impact the game because there were no real returns to field. That's how dominant Kansas City was. They took special teams completely out of the equation. They turned the game into a two-phase matchup, offense versus defense, and Baltimore came up short in both. So now here we are. The Ravens are 1 win and 3 losses. Not a death sentence for a season, but the body language, the execution, the lack of urgency, that's the real concern. And the longer this goes on, the more it feels like the issues go deeper than just personnel. This feels cultural, philosophical, like the head coach's voice is getting stale, like the team has stopped responding to the same old messages and mantras, and Harbaugh's pressers are starting to show cracks. You can feel it in the way he talks about his staff. There's deflection. There's subtle blame shifting. He went at Todd Monken after this game in a way we haven't really seen him do before. And it's strange, because Monken's offense, while flawed, has still been the best part of this team so far. But you won't hear him call out Zach or in the same way. Why? Is it loyalty? Is it favoritism? Is it stubbornness? Whatever it is, it's not working. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Your support keeps us bringing you the latest news on the Baltimore Ravens. And hey, drop your take in the comments below. We want to hear from the flock. Bombshell in the NFL. The Baltimore Ravens have reportedly confirmed a move that could shake up the league's aerial attack. Sources close to the team claim that wide receiver JAKOBI Meyers is set to join Baltimore, sparking excitement and speculation about what this could mean for the Ravens' offense. While official details are still scarce, insiders suggest that the signing is part of a broader strategy to bolster quarterback Lamar Jackson's weapons and give the passing game a much-needed spark. Meyers, known for his crisp route running and reliable hands, has quietly built a reputation as one of the most consistent receivers in the league. During his time in New England, he emerged as a go-to option in clutch situations, often turning critical third downs into momentum-shifting plays. His arrival in Baltimore could not only deepen the receiving core, but also create new matchup nightmares for opposing defenses. Rumor has it that the front office sees him as the perfect complement to existing stars, potentially giving Jackson more freedom to extend plays and exploit defensive weaknesses. While the move is still circulating as a rumor, chatter among fans and analysts is already heating up. Social media has exploded with speculation, with some projecting Meyers as the missing piece to elevate the Ravens' passing attack to elite levels. Others are questioning how this addition might impact targets for the team's current receivers and what it could mean for offensive schemes in the upcoming season. Regardless, the buzz is undeniable. JAKOBI Meyers in purple and black is a headline no fan wants to miss. If confirmed, the signing could mark a turning point for the Ravens, signaling a shift toward a more aggressive, vertical offense. With playoff aspirations looming, Baltimore's front office seems eager to make a statement, and adding a polished, reliable receiver like Meyers could be just the spark they need. All eyes will be on training camp and preseason drills, where fans and commentators alike will be eager to see whether the chemistry between Jackson and Meyers translates to explosive production on the field. Until then, the rumor mill is running wild, and in Baltimore, it seems, excitement has reached a fever pitch. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay in the loop with exclusive news on our Baltimore Ravens, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. We'd love to hear what the flock thinks. Drop your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next one.